Oswald J. Smith was pastor of the People's Church in Toronto, Canada, for 28 years in a row. For every $1 they spent on their local church, their salaries, their building, outreaches, they would give $7 to the rest of the world. $7 to the rest of the world for every $1 they spent. And they had a church of about 2,000 people, and they did that for 28 years straight. Because once the people catch the vision, and they had children as young as toddlers giving to missions because they grew up learning that they can reach people in the other part of the world even if they can't go. And there's a freedom in that. There's a new sense of purpose. And if you're a pastor of a church or you plan on being a pastor of a church, when the people in your church, when they get this missionary heart and they get an excitement about reaching people in the world, that's going to be infectious to everyone in the congregation. Oswald J. Smith said this regarding world missions in the local church. If world evangelism is the most important work of the church, then we should put most of our money into this most important department. Otherwise, we do not put missions first, and we do not believe that world evangelism is the supreme task of the church. And then he says, I find very few ministers who really believe that the evangelization of the world is their most important work. This leads me to say that every church should spend more on missions than it spends on itself. That is only logical. If we believe that world evangelization comes first, then we should invest more money in the regions beyond than we use for ourselves here at home. But you ask, what about your church? What about the People's Church in Toronto, which you're the pastor of? Does your church send more to the foreign field than it spends on itself? And then he says this, I'm glad to be able to say that there never has been a year since I have been pastor of the People's Church when we have used anything like as much on ourselves at home as we have sent to the foreign fields of the earth. Years ago, I asked our auditors through our treasurer 2 questions. First, how much did we spend on ourselves last year? And after they had examined the books, I got the answer. Now remember, this is 1959 when this was written. They came to him and they said, Dr. Smith, last year you used $53,000 on the work, the ministry at home. And then I asked the second question. How much did we send to the foreign field? How much did we raise for missions? And again, I got the answer. And remember, this is 1959. Last year, we gave $318,000 to missions. So there you go. $53,000 in 1959 on the work at home and local missions, and $318,000 to world missions. Fine, he said. That is the way it always has been, and that is the way it should be. And if the time ever comes when the officials of the People's Church decide to spend more on the ministry here at home and less on missions, they will get my resignation without a moment's hesitation. I would not want to be the pastor of a church that would use more here at home than it sent to the regions beyond. And brothers, that's the missionary church. That's the missionary church that has seen something. That's the missionary church that has true revival. You see, we measure revival in the wrong ways. We measure revival by the splash in a service that takes place, by the excitement of people. God measures revival by the fruit that it bears not only in our hearts, but through our lives. That's how God sees revival, that I'm being obedient to the word of God. Many people are praying for revival to come. Revival isn't something we have to wait for. It's something we need to walk in. And as pastors and leaders, if you begin to walk in a revival type of life, people are going to see it. They're going to catch it. They're going to want it. They're going to be a part of it. They're going to ask, how do I get that? And you're going to be able to teach them.